What's going on? My name's Chrissy. This is Galaxy Gardens, and about to make some dinner rolls, or at least get them going for dinner. But today is finally seed starting. So let me get this all going, and I'll be right back. So this recipe, it's not like special enough to share. It's a sourdough roll recipe that I found online. And it actually also uses instant yeast, so I don't know. But I haven't used our starter, Danny DeVito, here in a hot minute. So I figured, let's give him a job, put him to use, stir him up, give him some food, call it a day. So now Danny's fed. I'm actually gonna put a new container here. But yeah, just figure I'll get this going, at least get the dough rising while we work on the other stuff. We've had quite the last few weeks here at the Galaxy Gardens household. My Lord. We had one sick animal. We had Miss Scout. You know Scout. She's our fluffy cat. And we took her to the vet. She may or may not have diabetes. We're gonna be finding out this week. So that's fun. Actually, I'll be right back. Yeah, so we are lucky enough to have an emergency vet near us somewhat. And she's having some issues, so we took her in within less than 24 hours of these issues happening, and followed up with our vet. So we're gonna do another blood test this week, see if she has diabetes. So I'm hoping not. Now if she does and she needs insulin and all that, that's fine. That's fine. But just want her to not need it, And then what else did we do? Oh, we went to Puerto Rico. So that's cool. Been wanting to go to PR for a very long time. And we're in Western Massachusetts, so you can imagine why we want to go. A lot of people around here go at least once a year. So we finally had a chance to do it ourselves, and I was really happy about that. I think I left the butter in the microwave. Yep. There it is. So that was freaking sweet. We're definitely gonna go back there. I wanna go there again. I wanna go to the Dominican. I wanna go to all that stuff, because it's not that far away, flight-wise. So that's cool. We've just been busy, honestly. So Greg, if you remember, he's actually in a few bands. His personal band that him and his friends started from scratch just put out a new album. So I'm gonna put their album link in the video description if you want to order one. It's the Trash Mammals. I would recommend listening to them on Spotify. It's punk music, so it's not for everybody. But their album art came out sick. the records sound really, really good, and they've been working on getting this record actually released for the last couple years because there's like a number of delays that happen. So we're really proud of that. So I'll put that down in the description for you. I guess while I'm here and I'm finishing up these rolls, and we're gonna get to seed stuff in a moment, but we are still working with Epic Gardening. We're still affiliates with them. So if you are getting your garden supplies, I know up here, like obviously I'm starting my seeds right now, getting those rolls in order. But if you need to get any more seeds, or if you need supplies, or if you want to buy some trees and bushes, I'll also put the link to our discount code in the video description, and you can get 5% off. So that's pretty sweet. And it's really good quality. They're always working with different farmers around the way. So definitely worth it. And we actually got our own Birdie's raised beds, which is like kind of how they got everything started. So we're going to be assembling those this year for ourselves, but they're supposed to be really good. And if you know our current raised bed status, we made them with dog ear fence pickets and wooden stakes that you're really just supposed to use to mark stuff for construction. I think the Birdie's raised beds is going to be a nice improvement. So I just about got this dough ready to go. So let me go ahead, I'm just gonna let this rise, and then we're gonna go check out the seeds and what the plans for this year are. We got Danny in there, ready to rise, and our dinner rolls. So perfect. I get all this cleaned up, and I'll be right back. I got my rolls rising. I should check on them in like a couple hours. There's mixed reviews on this recipe that I found, so I'm hoping it's good. If it is good, I'll make a video for you. But in the meanwhile, I like to try them out first. It's kind of funny. We went to our local butcher yesterday, and we wanted to make some more ground beef jerky, and they actually had 90-10, 90% lean, 10% fat ground beef, which is like what you want for that recipe. So I snagged up some of that, and I don't know if we'll have time to make it today. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, but we'll have some more ground beef. I think the best flavor that came out was the spicy teriyaki, so we'll be making some more of that. But I have all of my seeds out here. I want to show you what we'll be doing. It shouldn't really be a surprise compared to what we've done in past years, but it's time to get going. I have the camera zoomed out, so bear with me. So over here we have leeks and onions. So we have our Tokyo long bunching onions. I actually got a different bunching onion I thought was cool. It's a red beard bunching onion. So worst case, if nothing else grows, I'm hoping those do. I say every year I'm not going to do onions again, but I got these two. We'll see how they do. And then I got some chives, and there's just some leeks. So we'll get those going. Most people like to get, their onions going in February. I don't really care. And typical spinach, collards. I have a whole different types of, whole pile of cabbages here. Napa didn't really do well for us. This is a new one. Caraflex. We have the mermaid's tail. I like those. We're going to try them again. We're doing different stuff this year. So I actually got, well, it's funny because they don't want to work with my company right now. But there's a local agricultural company that makes lots of different soil mixes. So we're going to be using that for a seed starter again this year. So we'll see how these go. We also are going to, we didn't get time to do this year, but we're going to be picking up some like fancy soil for the raised beds while we build the raised beds. We got mustard, cauliflower, kohlrabi, all different kales. Was it Black Magic, Jacinto, blue curled Scotch, Dwarf Siberian kale. And broccolis, all the colors of Swiss chard, celery, more cardoon. Love cardoon. I still have to use what's in our freezer from 2023, I believe. But that's fine. This is just herbs. Cilantro, salad brunet, tarragon. What is that? Thyme and stuff. So this is all we're getting started right now. When you're planning out your own seed starting at home, I promise you I have done where I started everything too early. I've started things too late. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. It takes at least 2 or 3 years to figure out what's gonna work for your specific like backyard's microclimate, right? You need to take into consideration your seed starting setup, obviously like your weather outside, the soil you're using, days till harvest or days till maturity for your plants. So this is just what works for us. I know that if I get my brassicas and my hardy greens and my onions and my flowers and my herbs, if I start all those around like the beginning to middle of March, they're in a really good place and can even go out in like a few weeks in early to mid-April and get a head start, and hopefully, you know, be harvested before it starts getting too hot in May. And then once it gets to be about time to plant these outside or start shifting things around, you know, end of March, beginning of April, even like mid-April for stuff that grows fast, we'll get the tomatoes and peppers and squash and cucumbers and Aunt Molly's ground cherries and all that good stuff going. So you gotta break it up, because if you do everything at once, it's gonna be too much. Now, in the past, I had some good luck with kohlrabis in pots. I think one of the videos might be titled this from a couple years ago. We had Brassica Lane actually behind our house. That was fantastic. Now this year we actually have a couple extra raised beds that we can use. So we'll have a new spot for all the peppers, and then we'll have some other stuff shifted around. So I've made a little bit of a garden map. I want to show you what we're doing and where things are going to go throughout the season. So let's go check it out. It doesn't look like that much in there. There's a ton of seeds, and even this, I'm a little overwhelmed this year. Got to figure out where we're going to fit it all. If you've been following your channel for the last 2 years, you should actually be pretty familiar with all of this. So this is how we do our garden planning, and that is 2023. Yeah. Here I have 2021 and 2022. Okay, so why I hold on to these is so I can figure out crop rotation, which reduces chances of having, you know, disease and stuff build up in your soil. And, you know, I'm not super strict with it, but, you know, I try to do basic stuff. Like if I have tomatoes in a bed this year, I won't do it next year. Ideally, you know, saving it for like next couple of years. So the last couple of years, this was 2024. These did not do good. So I didn't do these either. So this is where we had our huckleberries and stuff last year in the back. Behind our garden, we did some other stuff, and then that's kind of generally where we had everything. This year, let's get this up a little bit higher. This is what we're working with. So where the old chicken run used to be, last year we grew potatoes there, and they did pretty good. So this year, I think what I'm gonna do is add just like a little bit more soil there and do root crops. Are we gonna do it in the summer? Maybe. This is right in front of our house. This is where we tried to do cardoon and greens last year that didn't do super hot. This time around we're gonna try onions. And then where we did the flowers and ground cherries and everything, and then we had 3 more raised beds there. I think we'll try summer squash and put the cardoon there again, because our best cardoon year, we grew them over there. And then we have 3 raised beds, so we're just gonna put the peppers in there. We already have garlic. I only allocated for 2 corn beds, which I don't like. I'd rather have more. So we'll see how that goes. And then 2 tomatoes. Put our ground cherries in a bed. And my oca tubers, which I'm going to show you in a second. We're actually going to plant those today. So this is what it's looking like. It should work out pretty good. The hardest part about garden planting is just narrowing down the varieties you want to plant. And then the next part is really making it work with the space you have. And like I said, it takes time to learn the land you're growing on, or if you're in a community garden, maybe you're growing on your apartment balcony. You know, there's so many different factors that go into play. So just experiment and see what works for you. There's a good chance the onions, you know, I'm just looking at this, they might not do well. I might have bunnies come and eat my squash shoots when they're coming up. So I'm gonna try to get things as big as possible before I put them out there, so they're healthy and happy and hopefully don't get eaten. Let me pull out my oca tubers and we'll see if they're still good. So I ordered these a few weeks ago and they came in a week's time, which I was not expecting. So I need to see if they're still good, number one, and then if they are, we're gonna plant them. We have 5 tubers. I'll be quite honest, I don't remember where I got them. First place online that they were actually in stock for. So yeah, I haven't even tried them yet. They seem to have held up pretty good. Nothing's really rotten. Yeah, if you've never heard of oca before, I think they're from New Zealand. They're like a tuber you can eat raw or you can cook them. And they're supposed to be a little bit lemony. So you're supposed to get a decent amount of a return per tuber. So what I think I'm gonna do is, they actually give us more than that. Yeah, I'm gonna put each of these in their own pots and see what happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if these actually grow and do pretty good, then I can transplant them in their own raised bed and see what happens. And just hope it goes well. This one actually put out, let's see if I can, yeah, put out a root and then I didn't plant them, so I hope it's okay. We're just gonna plant these directly in soil. I have been trying for years to get my hands on oca tubers, and they're constantly sold out everywhere I've been looking, so I finally got them. I was like, whatever, if you're gonna send it to me early, that's fine. They're actually pretty hardy, I think down to like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I can get these planted and sprouted, then that means I could harden them off and move them outside in like a couple weeks. Our days are getting brighter and warmer. It's gonna be like in the 60s this week, and our nights are approaching like above or at freezing, so it's much preferred to the way it's been last month. So let me grab some soil. I don't know how far I'm gonna get on these. I did also realize we are just about missing our window for getting maple sap, so we can make syrup, but we still have some left over from 2 years ago, so I honestly might skip that this year. Our rolls need to get rollified so they can rise again. So let me do that really quick. Got some potting mix. I really don't think they need fertilizer. So with these, you can either chit them like you do with potatoes. I read online you don't really need to do it. So we're gonna just do 2 pots here. And then we'll plant them about 3 inches deep into each pot. And we're just gonna put it in our little grow house and wait for them to sprout. So let's hope we can fill up a raised bed this year. These are so cute though. Like I really want to try. I want to bite it. I just don't have enough to try one and then also plant them. So I gotta be patient this year. We got our oca here. So the soil I'm using has a 0.09, 0.03, 0.03 mixture. So let me remember what that is. Pecan, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen. So lower in nitrogen. We're just gonna be using 2 pots for this. So I pre-dampened our soil, which I add water to it to the point that when I squeeze it, maybe like a drop comes out. And that's what I do for our seed starting, but we're gonna do it with these as well. I might need to make another bowl to fill up the other container, but that's okay. I'm just gonna loosely press this down. I'm gonna fill it up. All right, actually I'm gonna take some out. So we're gonna have this about 3 inches below. Perfect. And then we're just gonna lay them on top. So I think what I'm gonna do, I have 8, so I'll do 4 per container. Do a couple big guys, a couple little guys here. And I've seen people online chit these in trays in like a greenhouse before planting. We don't have a greenhouse. So we're just gonna plant them as is and call it a day. And this is the first time I'm ever planting these, so fingers crossed this works, you know? If it doesn't, I'm gonna be really sad. But if I can get my hands on some more, maybe I can just keep them in the fridge till it gets warmer out. So that's one done. Let me set up the other one. And then pretty much we're just putting this in our little mini seed starting tent. Aren't those gorgeous though? I'm sure people probably eat this more frequently than I do, or like, yeah, it's a root vegetable. What's the big deal? But I'm in New England and we don't really get cool stuff like this that I think is cool. So just thought I'd share in case you live somewhere where you don't see it either. There's group number 2. And yeah, if you live somewhere where oca grows, or maybe you've grown this before, can you please put in the comments any suggestions? That'd be great. My camera skills are immaculate right now. Make it a little bit more swell for the top. But yeah, I'd love some suggestions. I know they're gonna grow for like a while. And then probably gonna be harvesting them pretty late. Everything I've seen, they take like 8 to 9 months before you get a crop. So if this is March, like 6 months from now is September. So these are gonna need some frost cover in the fall, but I'm willing to take the risk. There she is. So this little greenhouse of mine needs some cleaning, but I just unplugged one of the lights because this doesn't even really need light right now. Just gonna use that to keep it warm. And bring it over here. We have it on a 15-hour light cycle. I had to come out to the garage. It was so loud in the house. Greg is practicing on drums now, and the washer was going, and the dishwasher is just too loud. So I have it on a 15-hour light cycle. I usually, for seedlings, for the way that we get them started, I like to do a 16-hour cycle. So that means 16 hours with the light on, like 8 hours with it off, right? And that tends to be what works for us. I'm gonna maybe even move it down to 14 because we're gonna be starting some onions. But just for now, I'm just gonna leave it at 15 hours. But I need to go ahead and clean like all of our seed starting supplies. I need to get my trays going. We have some new Epic Gardening trays too that we're gonna use this year. So today we're not gonna finish planting all of our greens and brassicas, but it will get done this week, so I'll show you that. In the meanwhile, I hope this is helpful as you kind of explore new tubers to grow. And when we're done here, I'll show you how the rolls come out. But I appreciate you so much. Please keep using our link at Epic Gardening. Our discount code is Galaxy Gardens. It's 5% off everything on the store. And yeah, happy gardening. I say this every year, but I really think this is gonna be a good gardening year. I just need to figure out if I have room for everything. And as far as, you know, amounts we're doing, usually for like every type of plant we grow, I want at least between 2 and 4 successful plants. So that way we have variety, but not too much, just for the 2 of us. So hope that helps you plan. But I'll see you next time. And if you're getting your gardening started this week, good luck. Bye. We're making some dinner here, and here's how the rolls came out. Should be okay. I'm gonna take one out, put some butter on it. Yeah, that's what the inside looks like. Give it a try. Oh wow. It's pretty good. Biscuit's really fluffy. Might make this again. Let me know if you want to see the recipe. Otherwise, if I were to put it on anything else, I'd use it for like chicken pot pie or like chicken and dumplings.